How's it going, everybody? This is the Smooth Admin, and today I'd like to talk about deliverability. But before that, I wanted to go over this quote from John Wooden, the famous UCLA basketball coach. Things work out best for those who make the best of how things work out. I heard this quote before, but it's been a long time, and when I heard it again today, it really hit home with me. I really try my best to make the best of the circumstances, because things are not always going to go great, especially as a Salesforce administrator. Sometimes you're not going to be able to configure an object the way you thought you would, or it's just not working out the way that you expected. So when that happens, think of John Wooden, think of this quote, and hopefully it makes it a little bit easier to get into the right mindset. So that being said, let's jump into deliverability. So the other day I did a video on email logs, and although email logs are still really helpful, we also want to be able to test deliverability. And if you've never used this before, you're probably thinking, what the heck am I talking about? Well, Salesforce sends emails from certain IP addresses, and if your organization is blocking them, the emails will not go through. And just the other day, this happened to me, where I was trying to test something in a sandbox, and the emails were not coming through. And I know I had the rules configured properly, and the emails were being sent. It's just that the org was blocking them. Now I was able to figure this out pretty quickly, because I've had this problem before. And the way that you test to see if you can receive all emails from Salesforce is you go to the setup menu, and under email there's this test deliverability function, and in here you put in your email address and hit send. And when you do that, it will send test emails from all of those IP addresses into your mailbox, and you can check your mailbox to see if they came, which is what I just did right now. So you can see here, these are the different IP addresses that they're sending from. If these emails do not come through to your email box, then you know that you need to check with your networking person in your IT department, because that means they're probably blocking it somehow. So in my case, they were coming in and getting caught in the spam folder, and that is probably the same situation for you if they're not coming through for you. Or there's like our IT department has another category called a potential spoof attack, and that could be another place where they could be being held up. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter. If they're not coming through to your inbox, they're not making it to you as the end user, then you definitely need to discuss it with your network administrator, and they should be able to check on the server to see if these are getting hung up in there. And that was in fact the case for me. Then they added the IP addresses to be allowed, which is called whitelisting them. And as soon as they did that, I redid the test, and I got all the test messages that I was supposed to. So if you've never done this before, what you should know is that Salesforce changes the IP addresses around sometimes. Like, they're not always the same, and you can see this in this knowledge article. First of all, it explains what IP addresses they use and which domains to whitelist, and if you look through here, it'll explain that to you. And then I think like the most key part of this, especially if you're going to talk to your networking person at your company, is this part right here at the very bottom of this table of contents. It's called revision history. So because they change these around and don't always use the same one, or they add new ones, you need to go to this revision history section and see. So in my case, even though I had whitelisted ones for the sandbox before, they made changes on July 16th, which is just like a little over a month ago. So these ones are ones that I had not included yet, and that's why they were getting blocked. So that's how you solve that. Or at least that's what works for me. Hopefully it works for you as well. And please, if you found this video valuable at all, please like it or subscribe, and definitely leave me any comments. I really appreciate that, and hope you have a great night. Thanks.